is. So I look over and I see like the road, and I'm like kind of looking at the angle. I'm like, I think I can make my road. I have never been part of anything more complex, more difficult, more challenging.
Each time that he did the practice, he became more wary and he became more concerned.
I was paused for a while thinking, wow, can I do it with such a little practice jump? We all got up pretty early. We went to the site hoping that weather would be favorable. And unfortunately, when we went to the mountain, and it's very misty, it's very cloudy, the visibility is very bad.
We looked up and we saw the clouds were literally right on top of the mountain, so we couldn't even get in a helicopter to jump anyway. So it was like literally, well, the weather is just unjumpable. And as the day progressed, it just got worse and worse.
We show up and it feels like going to the rock festival. I didn't even understand why so many people are walking the same direction where we are going. And then there was a little blink light, bingo, they're coming for us.
It does surprise me when I see so many people, farmers, the village people nearby, they all came here. I said, wow.
My fear was extreme. And what was interesting is it wasn't a fear of getting hurt. It wasn't a fear of dying. It was a fear of, will the weather actually make this impossible? Will we not be able to do the stunt simply because it's just too windy? It's a totally different type of fear. You know, it's the fear of letting people down, and the fear of, like, you know, setting all this up, and the fear of all these people like relying on you to do something, and then you can't. Like, and it's something that's completely out of your control. You have there's literally nothing you can do. And even though everyone, you know, safety is number one, you know, we don't want you to get hurt, blah, 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 it still puts pressure on you.
Of course, there's the pressure because we're not just doing a simple stunt, because lots of TV networks are going to do the live, and plus there are around 50,000 spectators just on site to watch the stunt. And just thinking of the weather condition, wow, of course the pressure's there.
Hundreds of millions of people watching on live TV and waiting for something to happen. There we stand in the rain, the mountain is covered with clouds, and I remember I walked around smiling and shaking hands, and I went to the tent and I nearly had a cry. It was horrible. There was so much pressure, so much expectations, and it was mainly coming from the fact that everyone believed in us. Everyone really wanted to make this happen, but we just didn't want to let them down.
Who knows, maybe we'll clear up. We got 3 hours. Still just out of an acceptable level.
Okay, to view the briefing, the update, the satellite they had Hunan TV, they shut down already. Okay. They need to redo it, but it takes time.
Frank was super smart and basically shut everything down and tried to postpone so that we could get more of the day. But the end was going to be 4:30. At 4:30, choppers were going to be grounded, and that was the end of it.
You have the flying schedule, and each day before 5 o'clock, the chopper has to be grounded. So basically, the last takeoff has to be done before 4:30.
But the gusts are maxing at 8.
Right now, yeah. Let me give it a few minutes and see if they increase to higher.
Okay, cool. I'll just go ahead and get my gear ready, just in case.
It became a little nerve-wracking, though, as of the time that led up to the event, because there was a lot of get your gear on, get ready, no, canceled, take your gear off, sit back down. So we went through the motions many times to only be told to sit back down. We got in the helicopter, flew all the way to our jump run, and were called back down to land with the chopper.
The winds just increased. They were nice and calm, and probably from the 5 minutes before the chopper took off to 2 minutes after the chopper took off, the wind really steadily increased. So what I'm worried about is Jeb gets up to altitude and they keep increasing. So I called the jump off to see what this wind's gonna do.
It's like nightmarish. I swear to God, it's driving me nuts.
It looked like it was going to be the first stunt that we set out to do where it just wasn't going to happen, that it was going to fail. And then Barry calls in and says, hey guys, you know, I don't want to get you too excited, but the winds have calmed down.
But it has been improving.
So I'll keep watching them. He's all, but I think you could land right now. I tell Frank, hey Frank, I want to go up and let's just take a look.
It's very, very difficult because Jeb needs 4,000 feet to jump out of the chopper. However, because of the low clouds, the height could be only 2,500 feet.
It was already like 3:30. We only had an hour till everything was going to get shut down. I'm like, we might as well just get in the helicopter and go take a look. If we can't get enough altitude, we can't get enough altitude. That's, you know, but at least we need to try.
When I heard the sound of the chopper taking off, I was really praying that they could have a little bit